Hi there ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our new installment of the Forex Weekly series. It's me analysing the markets, bringing you the best available investment opportunities for the week. A quick shout out to my sponsors, the Absolutely magazine. It's available now in all Waitrose and M&S stores. You can check out my article on page 95. Before we take a look at the currency pairs, we will start with gold, US30 and the UK100 plus many more. Make sure you're not missing out on any investment opportunities by going through the whole video. Okay, let's check the fundamentals for the week. Okay, so as always, it's very important that you check your fundamentals at the start of the week. This week, it's going to be quite action-packed, so again, listen up to this. This will have a lot of relevance when we're looking at the charts. The first thing I want to talk about is the New Zealand dollar's got their interest rate decision at 3 AM Wednesday. So Tuesday night there'll be a lot of monitoring around that, seeing if we can see any explosiveness in the New Zealand dollar. This worked well recently with the Australian dollar. They had their interest rate decision and then the trade kind of powered off through the night. So again, that'll be something that I'm looking out for come Tuesday night. Wednesday afternoon, we've got the Canadian dollar's interest rate decision. So again, there'll be moves inside the Canadian dollar as well. We'll be looking out for that. Around 3 o'clock, it'll be an hour before the London close that day. So definitely I'm expecting a marker to be left around there. We move to Thursday. The next thing that will kind of stick out will be the employment change, the unemployment rate in the Australian dollar. Again, that's happening during the night. So there'll be something to monitor for the Wednesday evening. Then Thursday evening, the best thing to look out for will be just what's going to happen in the US dollar with the Fed's Chair Powell testifying. So whenever this person speaks, the dollar seems to move. And again, that's going to be around 2:30, just after the New York's actually opened. So keep an eye on that. Friday, the yen, they've got their interest rate decision. So again, there's going to be a lot of explosiveness this week and we've got some times to look out for. So now we understand when we can expect the charts to explode. Let's have a look at the moves, see if they're going to line up. Okay, so as always, I'm going to start with gold now. The first one up is going to be gold euro. It's been following this daily pattern quite well, okay? I still want to see price come a bit higher, okay? So the first thing I want you to understand, the price action is showing some really good signs of a sell on a 4 hour. So I just want to let you understand the daily picture. We've had the sell from up there that we was talking about ages ago. It sat there for a while, it dropped. It came to this area that I mentioned recently. We've had the nice move. It's basically about to hit the target. This is what I'm expecting. So if I just come to the 4 hour, what I'm saying to watch out for this week, remember I am still looking for price to come that little bit higher. This is the gold euro. But I just like the way it's kind of played out of this marker here. Played out of around the 1535, 1540 level. So I like the way that's tapped and then had the drop. Let's look and see if we're just going to get another move. So basically we're looking at a sell around the 1530, 1535 mark. And then the next one will be the gold USD. So it's got a similar picture. I am still expecting price long term to come up to here. That's the target around the 1850, 1860 level. But just the way it's kind of stuck off of this level last week, playing off of it, dropping back to it, still there. What I'm suggesting is early in the week, Monday, Tuesday, keep an eye out for this area. I believe we can get a small push to the downside. The target would be around the 1760 level, maybe a retest for the buy, longer term buy to ride up to, let's say, the 1850 level. So keep an eye out for them. That's the gold euro, the gold USD. If I then move on to the US30, this was a move that I mentioned last week off of this top imbalance here. You can see it a bit clearer on the 4 hour. So it's that scenario there that I was looking at. The key number is the 3500 level. That's where I believe we're going to get another sell opportunity from. So just keep an eye on that. It's basically played off of the base of the candle that I wanted to see price get tapped into, which it did. We had a nice drop and it's back there. It ended the week there. So again, let's see how Monday starts out. Possible sell here, but be aware US30 is known for making new highs. It can wipe this area out. So again, it will be a lot of seeing price struggle on a lower time frame in this area, and then I'll make my decision. So keep an eye on them. That's the gold euro, the gold USD, and the US30. Okay, quick update on the UK100. For those of you who follow my videos, who watch what I've been doing, you'll know that I've been looking at this chart for a very long time now. It's been sitting underneath the area of my interest for weeks on weeks on weeks. So I just had a little setup last week on the 4 hour. This is what I was looking at. I wanted to see price come into the red lines and then be the sell. It didn't actually do that. So that trade's still valid and it does look like price is going up to do something again. So just be aware of around the 7200, 7100 level, 150 to be a bit more precise. I want to see price get up there, and that's the trading opportunity that I'm going for. That's the parameters that I'm going to put on my trade. So again, just keep an eye on that. That's the UK100. Okay, let's get into the currencies. First up, I'm going to go over the USDCAD. Now remember, we've got the New Zealand dollars interest rate 3 AM Wednesday. Canadian dollars interest rate Wednesday 3 PM. The Japanese yen Friday at 4 AM. So just be aware of that as I'm going through the currencies. Now, first up, USDCAD. So what I'm going to look at for this week is I want to see this area here around the 123,500 get played into. This is the trade that I'm going to go for. Okay, so we're looking at a 200 pip catch. I'm going to risk 35 pips. I'm simply looking to see the US dollar come to this area, struggle for a little bit, push up. Now, wherever it pushes to, whether it makes a new high before this, once the interest rate decision for the Canadian dollar has been announced, I would then be expecting strength in that. So be aware that there could be a quick turnaround, a quick push up, and then a quick sell off. So just be aware of the news. Be aware that it's coming on Wednesday at 3 PM for the Canadian dollar. And just try and synchronize that with what we're going to be looking at here. So again, it's just a buy around this level here, rise up for 200 pips. If it sticks around 125,500 in this level here, where I can obviously see what I believe is some market makers play, then we might be thinking about the sell with the news. Okay, so just keep an eye on that one this week. This is going to be one of my main focuses. That's the USDCAD. Okay, let's get into the currencies. First up, I'm going to go over the USDCAD. Now remember, we've got the New Zealand dollars interest rate 3 AM Wednesday. Canadian dollars interest rate Wednesday 3 PM. The Japanese yen Friday at 4 AM. So just be aware of that as I'm going through the currencies. Now, first up, USDCAD. So what I'm going to look at for this week is I want to see this area here around the 123,500 get played into. This is the trade that I'm going to go for. Okay, so we're looking at a 200 pip catch. I'm going to risk 35 pips. I'm simply looking to see the US dollar come to this area, struggle for a little bit, push up. Now, wherever it pushes to, whether it makes a new high before this, once the interest rate decision for the Canadian dollar has been announced, I would then be expecting strength in that. So be aware that there could be a quick turnaround, a quick push up, and then a quick sell off. So just be aware of the news. Be aware that it's coming on Wednesday at 3 PM for the Canadian dollar. And just try and synchronize that with what we're going to be looking at here. So again, it's just a buy around this level here, rise up for 200 pips. If it sticks around 125,500 in this level here, where I can obviously see what I believe is some market makers play, then we might be thinking about the sell with the news. Okay, so just keep an eye on that one this week. This is going to be one of my main focuses. That's the USDCAD. Okay, next up is the pound CAD. This is a main focus alert. So be aware, this is going to be something that I am really aiming to attack this week. Now, for those of you that follow me, who follow these trades, follow the investment opportunities, you'll know that I've been plotting on this area for a very long time. Now, weirdly enough, the Canadian interest rate decision is next week, and then it priced, obviously the week before, shoots into the area. Now, let me just explain what I'm seeing here. We've had the massive push down. We've had price for days on end just struggling around this area, threatening to come back up, which would then be a deeper retracement, which I know this is when the market makers would start to place their positions. So if I just come to the 4 hour, it's this level here, it's this piece of price action that has stood out to me. And I want to see price stick here. And then of course, if it's still here around Wednesday 3 PM, we can then expect the extra energy from the news. So just be aware of this area. It is, to be precise, around the 173,300 level. That's what I'm going to be looking at. Now, as you can see, price has tapped into it, struggled, come down, came back to it. It feels like it's being marked up by the market makers. So just be aware, I am expecting a drop from this area. That's the 173,300, just to be precise. Remember the news. Back to the baby now. It's the euro pound. Now, remember, this 86 level I've been mentioning. It's another trade that has pulled off perfectly from last week. I was kind of saying don't be so naive to thinking it will happen again, but the market makers are really relentless. As you can see, it's happened again around the 86 level, played off what I've marked out perfectly and had a good drop. So now what I'm looking at for this week, and I'll just show you if I come to a 2 hour, we're looking at the retest. I'm going to be looking at the retest that was left on the London close. So if you look here now, this was where London closed on Friday, and then it continued having the push down. So if there's going to be a retest off of a marker they've left there, I'm saying to look out for the 85,600 to the 85,700, 800 level. There could be another re-entry there, and then a continued push to the downside, where I'm expecting price to come and wipe this area out. So I'm expecting price to maybe be at the 84 level long term. As you can see, this has been relentless for ages now, and it's just continued dropping. So be aware of that. I'm expecting it to just pull back up towards that London close, and then of course we may get the re-entry to carry on riding down. That's the euro pound. If I can then move on to the pound USD, we've got something very, very similar. Now again, I was mentioning this level last week, the 137, 137,500 mark off of this candle here. Price eventually taps into it, and then we get the push up, and it's finished the week quite strongly. So this way is the other way round now. So as you can see, the pound was getting strong, pushing up. What I'm looking for is that scenario, and there it is again. This one is around the New York Open. Something's happened. There's been a marker left there. I want to see price pull back towards it, let's say around the 138, 138,300 level, and then continue for the higher zones, where I believe price will eventually be back towards the 141 level. So keep an eye on them too. That's the euro pound and the pound USD. Very similar moves. They should usually play together. It will be synchronized. So if one works, the other one will go. So just be aware of that. That's the euro pound, pound USD. Okay guys, next up is the euro USD, something that you can watch straight out the gate, straight out of the market open. And I'm just going to show you the pattern on the hour time frame. I believe we're going to get a continued move from this area around the 18800 to say 11900. That's the level that I'm looking at. I believe we're going to get the big push. So just keep an eye on it. It's literally going to be something that I look at for Monday and Tuesday. If it starts to climb higher early doors from the market open, I'll invalidate the trade. So it's just something to really look out for Monday, Tuesday. I'm expecting the dollar to start the week strong, maybe push down to here for the London Open, and then obviously we might see the euro start gaining its strength from there. So again, it is just a really short-term trade. Be aware of that. And again, 11800, 11900 level. That's where I'm expecting to see the sell from. That's the euro USD. Next up, the euro AUD. Now, long term on this daily pattern here, I'm looking at the sell around the 1600 key number. Okay, so that's what I'm looking to see long term. Short term this week, if I just come to a 4 hour, I'm going to look at how price is going to retest back towards this level. I believe there's been something that's happened here. There's a lot of movement up and down here. The market makers have clearly been in that area. So price obviously started to shoot towards it on Friday. So I'm going to be looking at the 157,500 level. I'm going to be looking at the euro gaining strength against the Australian dollar and pushing up into that higher area. And it's a very similar picture on the pound AUD. So again, we was looking at them sells last week, had a good move, was waiting for the buy down here. It just missed, it shot up. So again, looking at that now, I'm going to see how that retests towards this area, looking for the pound Aussie strength, the pound buy around the 184 level. And then, of course, on the higher time frame, as you'll see, I'm expecting price to come towards this 119 level. I believe there's something that's been left there. There's a piece of imbalance just above around the 192. So long term, that's where I believe price is going. And it's about how we get on the bus. Okay, so again, just remember, looking to see price retest towards that 184 level. It can come towards 183,500, just looking at it now, and then get the bigger push to the upside. So keep an eye on them. That's the euro AUD and the pound AUD. Okay, guys, next up is going to be the USD Swiss franc. Now, this is a move that I mentioned a couple of weeks back. It's still kind of valid. It's looking like it's about to get our entry this week. Now, there is two areas that I want you to look out for. I do believe we're going to get something around the 9,800 level. It could be a small push, at least to the 92. Okay, so there'll be about 120 pips available there. Keep an eye on that. However, if it does obliterate this area, doesn't show any signs of struggling, then I believe it's coming down to the 90 level. So just be aware of both. Whatever one looks more likely, take that trade. If I move on to the next one now, which will be the pound Swiss franc, there was a lovely sell opportunity here last week that was looking very obvious. Eventually, we saw that move towards the end of the week. So what I'm looking at now is there's kind of two options here. I believe price is pushing back up to this level to get a sell, let's say around the 127,400, 127,600. And then I'm going to watch how it's going to come back and play off of this long candle here that dipped down, took out all the liquidity to the left-hand side. That's definitely something that's common in the market makers and the way they act. And of course, they've done it around a key level of the 126. So kind of just looking at two options.
which one's going to play out the best. Are we going to get the buy from here, or is the sell going to be the main one from there? So let's see how that starts out. Can we get an entry there? If it comes down towards this level, starts to show signs of struggling, I'd think about pulling the sell and maybe switching around to the buy. That's the pound Swiss franc. While we're here, very similar on the euro Swiss franc. So just looking at the same thing. Price push up towards the 10900 level, 109,200 level, and then of course back down towards, let's say, the 108,200 level. Let's see how price is going to play off of that candle that's dipped down and took the liquidity. So again, just be aware, that's the USD Swiss franc, the pound Swiss franc, and the euro Swiss franc. Not all of them moves that I've mentioned will play out. Okay, so just be aware. Let's see which one price action is going to show most vividly. Okay, next up is going to be the pound NZD and the euro NZD. Now, remember, we've got a lot of news surrounding the New Zealand dollar. I'm looking to see strength in the New Zealand dollar when that night an interest rate decision will be announced. So pure and simply, there's a scenario here. There's a good sell pattern that I'm used to seeing. And I'm just going to be monitoring that basically around the 199, let's say 198, 800 level. Just want to see price stick in this area, show signs of struggling. Then when that news comes around through the night, so hopefully something that I can monitor just before I go to bed, we get the profits in the night, and then you wake up obviously with your profits. That's the pound NZD, and it's a very similar picture on the euro NZD. This one has shown a bit more signs of strength. It looks like the New Zealand dollar is going to beat up the euro more than the pound, if that makes sense. So looking for a retest. I just want to see price come back towards that candle around the 170,500 level. That's where we'll be looking to take the sell entry. Of course, if it's sticking there around the news time, expect that explosive push. And again, it won't be a long-term trade. I'll be looking to probably close it if it reached towards that 168 level, where there could be a potential buy push from there. So again, just be aware of them too. Of course, be aware of the news. If it's near that time, if it's, if you're monitoring at the night, put your trade on, you may wake up in some profits. Keep an eye, that's the euro NZD and the pound NZD. Okay, again, we've got that yen interest rate decision on Friday. So be aware of what's being said right here. First off, we're going to go with the pound yen. Now, first of all, I just want to talk about a long-term area that I was looking out for a sell, which came off of this level here where the red lines are, and price has obviously hit it and stuck for a little bit. So what I'm going to look for now is just pure and simply, I'm looking at yen strength this week. So price has obviously shown good signs of struggling here. I just want to see it come back up towards the 154,500. Again, this will take a lot longer throughout the week. Of course, the yen's interest rate decision is going to be on Friday. If it gets to that point there and it's still struggling throughout the whole week, I'll be looking at taking a trading opportunity there back in the yen, with obviously their interest rate decision being pumped. Now, of course, I want you to understand something about the yen and the Swiss franc. They're different to the other currencies. They are safe havens. They are a place that investors will pump their money at times of uncertainty. So I'm expecting to just see that happen. And then, of course, we'll be able to catch some profits from it. That's the pound yen. Keep an eye on the 154, let's say 155, 154, 500 level. The next one would be the euro yen. Again, very similar. There's an area that I was looking out for a buy this week. It's come towards that, nearly had the push up. And now I'm just going to be looking for a similar thing. I want to see price, obviously not the yen getting strong at the start of the week. And then towards the end, 131,500 to the 132 level. That's where I'll be looking to take a position with the interest rate decision for the euro yen. So keep an eye on them too. That's the pound yen and the euro yen.
Okay, that's all from me this week. Keep an eye out on them fundamentals, as we can definitely expect some volatile moves in the New Zealand dollar, the Canadian dollar, and the Japanese yen, with all three having their interest rate decisions announced this week. Make sure you hit that subscribe button in the bottom right corner. I'm excited to announce I'll be releasing my beginner's guide coming to you sometime in August. So be sure to check out for that. Again, a quick shout out to the Absolute magazine. You can check out my article now on page 95. Very good read. It's available now in all Waitrose and M&S stores. Guys, good luck to England and Italy in the Euro finals. It's going to be a great day. Be safe and be sensible.
Bye, have a great time.